Hello and welcome. You're watching BBC News for viewers in the UK and around the world. I'm Shaun Ley. Welcome. The headlines this hour. Tailback stretching for miles outside the ferry terminal at Dover in Kent mean a miserable start to the summer holidays for thousands of British people, with many facing delays of several hours.
We've probably moved about a mile and a half in 4.5 hours now.
It's just been nearly 7 hours now, and we're still not checked in.
Ukraine and Russia signed an agreement to allow the resumption of Ukraine's grain exports from ports on the Black Sea. The United Nations Secretary General says it was vital to get a deal done.
This is an agreement for the world. It will bring relief for developing countries on the edge of bankruptcy and the most vulnerable people on the edge of famine.
The European Union launches fresh legal action against the British government for failing to comply with the post-Brexit Northern Ireland Protocol. 15-year-old Sebastian Kalinowski, who died after months of torture at the hands of his mother and her partner, they've been found guilty today of his murder. And later in this hour, British journalists and foreign correspondents discuss Liz Truss's critique of the last 20 years of economic policy in the Conservative leadership contest and the deal to get Ukraine's grain moving again. That's Dateline London in half an hour on BBC News. Hello, if you've just joined us, warm welcome to BBC News. We begin this hour with a question that many people face at this time of the year, worrying about getting away for their summer holiday. It should, of course, be one of the highlights of the year, released from the stress of work or school or all the other activities of day-to-day life. But today, at the end of the working week, huge tailbacks stretched for several miles from the ferry terminal at Dover in southern England have meant misery and frustration for travellers, some of whom had to endure delays of up to 6 hours. It's the start of one of the busiest weekends of the year for Dover. The school holidays have begun, certainly in England, but the port has declared a critical incident and told passengers to arrive at least 5 hours before their departure time to clear all security checks. Well, we've heard in the last hour that French border checks there are now operating at full capacity. Dover authorities have blamed what they called woefully inadequate staffing at French border controls, which is where people clear immigration in order to be able to drive straight through into France as soon as they get off the ferry at the French side. The French say the problems arose from an unexpected technical incident in the Channel Tunnel. Our transport correspondent Katie Austin sent us this update from Dover.